Whether you're new to condominium ownership or you've lived in one for years, it's important to know that insurance needs can vary greatly from condo to condo development. It's also important to have a good handle on the exact coverage you will need to be made whole should a covered loss like a fire, windstorm, or theft occur. I'd like to give you some insight on a few coverage limits that you don't want to skimp on. First and foremost, personal property. You want to make sure you have the correct coverage limits for all your personal belongings. Unlike homeowners insurance policies, which automatically provide a limit based on the amount of dwelling coverage that's on the policy, you have to determine these limits yourself with condo insurance. So how should you come up with a number? Well, I like the game show approach. Go through your home and pretend you have to guess the price of all your stuff as if you had to buy everything new. Furniture, clothing, pots and pans, everything. When in doubt, round up. The goal here is to make sure that you're made whole should you experience a covered loss. How much would you need to buy everything new if you lost it all due to a fire, or all the water used to put out the fire, or any covered loss? I promise this won't be as costly as you think. In fact, you may be pleasantly surprised by just how affordable it is to be properly protected. The second one is coverage for the actual structure. In most cases, you will be responsible for insuring at least a portion of the building. Now, I know this runs counter to the whole concept of condo living. You might be thinking, doesn't the association cover the dwelling and I only have to cover my belongings? In theory, yes, but in practice, it depends on how your condo association agreement is written. This is the document that outlines the rules and regulations you are required to abide by while living in that particular condo complex. This is also where your insurance requirements will be spelled out. There's usually a section that describes insurance. This is where your responsibility is defined. Keep in mind there is no standard condo association agreement, so it's not a good idea to assume it's the same as a friend's condo or the last condo you might have lived in. In general, the association insures the exterior of the building and you insure the interior. It seems pretty simple except for one thing. How are these terms defined? This can vary greatly from one condo association to another. Sometimes the interior is defined as the perimeter drywall in. Sometimes it's the interior of the exterior wall in. And other times I've seen agreements say the association is responsible for the entire unit, exterior and interior, except for improvements and updates. Pretty confusing. The important thing to note is that in most cases you will be responsible for interior walls, cabinets, doors, carpets, sinks, and even toilets. Even stairways and joists between floors may be included. A good agent can help you with this process. I always advise our clients to provide us with an association agreement so we can be sure of the requirements. Once determined, a cost estimator can be calculated. Essentially, it's like coming up with the cost to reconstruct a house less the things the condo association covers, things like roofs, windows, and outside walls. The accuracy of this limit will protect you from owing the condo association thousands of dollars at the time of claim. Finally, does your condo have lobbies, streetlights, party centers, or similar structures? These are typically defined as common areas. They're viewed as structures owned equally by all condo members. There's usually a clause in the agreement that puts members on the hook should the limits of coverage in the association insurance policy be insufficient. In other words, should a catastrophic event take place like a tornado or a major storm which does severe damage, there's always the chance that the cost to replace or repair is greater than the coverage limit. This is where you come in. You and the rest of the members can be assessed to pay the difference. Ouch. Well, don't worry. Most individual condo policies can help, since they can provide loss assessment coverage. My advice? Don't skimp on this. Most policies provide a base rate of $5,000, but many of them can be increased to $10,000, $15,000, or even $50,000 for just a few dollars more a year. I say buy it. You'll never regret doing so should you face this type of claim. Well, these are the big three issues of condo insurance, but there's certainly more to consider when tailoring a policy just for you. The key is to spend a little bit of extra time with a good agent to make sure you have the coverage you need. I'm Regis Kostelak with the Regency Insurance Agency. Thanks for watching.